All right, welcome back to Radio Wasteland with our guest today is Samuel Hofman returning.
Because there are so many sightings come in, they're outweighing the planets right now. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So anyway, I had to get that out.
So, you know, how is that juxtaposed with this whole UAP and the government report and everything? It's like the government is coming out and basically... Okay, so take all of this out of the equation, and I'm just your average Joe American watching the news, and what I'm getting from the news is the government saying there's a bunch of weird stuff in the skies, and we have no idea what it is, and even our military isn't sure, and therefore we can't protect you from it. I think that's a weird message to put out.
That way, when they find out that how much presence is here, and now we talked about the G7, I think that the fleet being here is a show of force saying, look, G7, we are real. And give us exactly what we are telling you to give us, or otherwise, we will come down and you will no longer be in power, period. And there's going to be a level of force, and there's going to be a level of not being able to deny what's about to happen. Because when these planets do go past us, I'm sure that the illuminations are going to be much, much more regular. Now, granted, space is pitch black out there. If you don't got direct light showing on the face, you will not see it. It'll stand there. You'll see the clouds around it. You'll see the shapes, which is what, we're constantly dogged by people that say, oh, all we see is clouds. Well, you have to realize that all these planets are surrounded by their own personal atmosphere. And we, over the years, have watched them long enough, from small enough to bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, that we've learned how their atmosphere looks, how their poles look, the color of the planet, their refraction type, how they interact with each other, and how they interact with our atmosphere. And we've had enough runs past us in close passes, yet they were far enough away, and yet somehow they still affect us and we affect them, that we've learned what's what. And we're not wrong here. Otherwise, we would have been piranha bait many years ago at the bottom of the pool. They'd have chewed us up and spit us out a long time ago. But we're number one, and I'm loving it. And I have to thank everybody out there. Also, I need to plug Rebecca at Nibiru Followers Anonymous. She's doing a phenomenal job. She also runs on TikTok and YouTube. It's NFA on YouTube, Nibiru Followers Anonymous. She's doing a great job. And she's got a huge body of work. So just go see some of her videos. It's absolutely undeniable what's going on. And beyond, it's absolutely going on. We know this, and we've known it for many, many years. But you have to go out there and look, because this, when you see that dark patch in the sky, don't say, oh, that's it. You have to stand there for 15, 20 minutes to a half hour to an hour to however long the show goes on, and actually watch this. And it's hard at first. You have to think massive planets, not looking for little dots in the sky or little oranges. You're looking for something that literally fills one side of the sky to the other, and then you'll see the differences in blue. The really, really dark blue, there's a planet standing there. And if you watch it long enough and at the right angle of light, you can see the facial illumination of the planet, including land masses, mountain ranges, ocean bodies. It just depends on which planet. When you look and you spend time out there, and you will see these. Anyway, I'll shut up. I need a drink of water anyway.
All right. So you said the G7, that this is one thing that they're talking about, and you said... if we don't give them what they want, for one, it makes me think of, I know it's terrible, but for some reason it's in a perfect part in my heart, and it's a Stephen King miniseries called Storm of the Century, where the wizard says, give me what I want and I'll go away. Mm-hmm. What is it that they want? Gold, well, and if we give it to them, they go away and society never finds out? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Well, remember that the count out, and I'm going to probably get in trouble for saying this, is they told all the other countries that the inventory would not be done until 2025, and because all the other countries have been asking for their gold back, and so they haven't gotten it yet. And they'll maybe get some bricks that are painted gold, but they will not get their gold back. If we don't do what they want, they will be able to come here and take it anyway, without even gold. Well, yeah, but the trick is gold is hard and slow to move. That's the thing. It takes a lot of work to move that stuff.
Yeah.
And so they will rather come in and tell people this is what's going to happen. Here's our show of force. Here's how little you can do about it. So let's all get along and make this easy. Otherwise, because if you go back a couple of cycles, the giants, for those of you who have studied, the giants held back some of their tribute to the gods and got blown out of existence for it, which is the remnants of the nuclear explosions on a few locations on the planet Earth that have been proven in the past history, atomic radiation. But anyway, that's another topic of study people can go look into.
So there is a possibility that this disclosure doesn't happen at all, that we give them what they want and they go away, and the entire populace is none the wiser?
I believe that we're going to have, and I think the Chinese are seriously in bed with them already, because we've talked about this in the past. They've got at least like 10 cities with no populace living in the middle of the Gobi Desert. I think they were preparing for the future climate change, whereas the Gobi Desert might be a different temperature later. We don't know. Or there's going to be some occupants that are going to move in. And China has a Stargate, and they made no bones about it. Of course, it doesn't make American media too easy, but China has a huge Stargate in one of their cities for smaller craft to fly through. And so I think they're pretty much in bed with the bosses above and a little more open, because they've got better control of things where information doesn't get out from them. So I truly believe that they're not going to quite go away this time. I think we've got a process where we're going to have to change our behavior in the next cycle.
Now, you said that we were behind and that we wouldn't be able to deliver until 2025.
No, that was giving back to that's the inventory to the other countries who have asked to have their gold back right after 9/11.
Oh, right.
And then our government told them, we're terribly sorry, but we will not be able to complete our inventory of the gold until 2025, and so you'll have to wait till then, and then we'll give you your gold back. That's exactly what their release of information was. But when 2025 comes, I don't think that gold's going to be there.
Right,
so,
because we gave it away.
Right, because that's the tribute to the gods, and that's part of the deal that they have with us and we have with them that brought us out of the 70s into the microwave generation and all of that crazy stuff. And from the 40s on, and everybody knows that in 1947 that some treaties were signed that, we all wish were not, but, here we are today, and you can't complain about something, spilt milk, as they say.
Right. Well, we don't have too much longer till the end, and I know I ask you this question on the reg, but I think it is a good sum-up question. And that is, given that all this is happening, what should we be doing? What's the point of having the knowledge if there's nothing that you can do? So what should we be doing?
Examine where you live, how you live, what you buy, what you eat. I happen to be buying a little more food than usual and putting some away, and know that, look at our climate. Look what's going on in the upper Mississippi. Look what China's doing with every seed corn they can get their hands on right now. Look what's going on in the weather in China that, America's not seeing. They're flooding out. There's huge climate change issues and crop problems all over each year, and if you have to realize that we're going to see food shortages. We're already seeing multiple chip shortages and this shortages and those kind of shortages and sugar and, and chickens. And so it's time to start being self-reliant and turning back to the farm and maybe, building a new house with about 3 foot of sod over the top of you, because you might be 130 degrees, and who's going to grow food in that? We could be in trouble if we do go through a cycle where we go through a major heat cycle. And they could blame global warming because look how their figures aren't working out, because they're not taking into account the extra sunshine from the extra sun. And they're not telling us about that, and because all the planets are tipped. They're all heating up. And they don't tell you about that, but that's what's going on. And we're in trouble for a while, and I would rethink about your farming and your growing techniques and having a few of the old-fashioned tools that don't run on electricity or gasoline, and maybe, relearning how we do things or how we used to do things.